This is the entrance to the Beamish Outdoor Museum. It is a giant steam hammer, which they've nicknamed Tiny Tim. And I expect it was used to make steel forgings for things like steam engines and other gigantic pieces of equipment. So you actually, when you drive in, you actually drive through those arches and you can come in with a regular size delivery van or anything you want. It's just that big. So this is the pit village seen from the circular road around Beamish. You can also see some of the pit cars where they bring the coal out of the mines. There goes one of the trolley buses. I'm going to walk down and go tour the housing. This is interesting. It's a small engine that they use for in the colliery here, but if you look, it's got a pretty hefty crane on the top. It's supposed to be picking up the cars and putting them back on the track. Of course, the tracks are not necessarily the most level or best maintained because they do have to keep moving them as they go further in. And this one is probably an engine that would fit inside the mine, at a guess. It's awful short. I'm guessing that these are all probably around 1900. This one was built in 1909. And here's another one. Of 40. Moving the cars around. I really like all the livery on these. There's an ancient lathe. And this is probably a 15-horse steam engine. Runs the shaft to run all the equipment here. That lathe is pretty big. It's about a 12-foot bed or so. It's a very old engine. It's probably a replica, but 1871. They used to couple with chains. So this is a coal transfer. You see that they will have brought some wagons in that way, but you also see those wheels on top of the building. That means that they're bringing stuff up from the mine shaft there. And then ahead of where those cars are is another track that goes underneath so they can dump from the small hand carts from the mine into the larger holding carts for cross-country transportation. This mine is a drift mine, which means it doesn't go down so much, it just goes into the hillside. So I think there's also a deep mine here. It's been a long time since I was here. There's another very old engine. And those are pretty old cars. Those are probably like 1890, 1900. Those small cars way over there would be what they used in the mine itself. So they've been drawn by ponies originally. And then of course later they go to compressed air engines, and sometimes they're cable drawn, lots of different ways. So these are some of the pit housing. So as you can see, dining room, sitting room, master bedroom would be the kitchen through the back. Very compact. This is probably less than 500 square feet, I'd guess.
And Ron was a volunteer in the town, and when he passed away, he was in his, he was 94. When his son was clearing his safe out, he was clearing his father a big car.
There's a couple of much older style pit carts. It's really been drawn by a pit pony. This is a stable.
A couple of pit ponies. And you can see in the back, you see that small hand wheel, that's a brake. And a hook on the front to chain it to the animal or chain a couple of cars together. Oh, it says this is a real steam shovel. It's really massive. That's probably a 4 or 5 cubic yard bucket at a guess. But the crossbar in the bucket is 6 feet above grade, so it's big. It's really big. And of course you can see there's the chimney for with the boiler sticking out the end. Tracked. We would have used it for, I suppose if they did any surface mining, I'm not sure they did at this era, but certainly for cutting railroad cuts and things like that. Ruston Bucharest. Bucharest is out of Chicago, I thought. Very big. This wheel is about 3 feet tall. You can see it's taller than my cane. The adjustments for the tracks. These are probably the brakes. That thing is huge. And this poor old dog's seen better days. NCB is National Coal Board, so this would have been used around the pits. It's electric. You can see it has a pantograph on the top. Boy, it's sat for a long time. Here comes the trolley. Early 1900s omnibus.